The big story of the day is Jyotiraditya Scindia joined the BJP this afternoon. Day after Jyotiraditya Scindia quit the Congress party, the BJP welcomed him with a grand gift, that is a nomination from one of the two Rajya Sabha seats in Madhya Pradesh.
The one and only Jyotiraditya Scindia, what a great pleasure for us to be welcoming you here today.
Pleasure to be with you as always, Upen.
When it comes to the rollout of 5G itself, how satisfied are you?
I've always maintained that India has followed the world on 4G. We have marched with the world on 5G, and I believe that we will lead the world in 6G.
India has granted license to Elon Musk's Starlink satellite internet service.
Turnaround story of BSNL, and it's truly an astonishing one. 280 crore rupees in profits.
The world is looking at India as a serious competitor. Perhaps you look at this as a challenge or an opportunity.
If I may steal from Prime Minister Modi's words, Bharat हर चुनौती को अवसर के रूप में देखता है. India today is moving. She is firing on all engines.
You say that India is going to be the data capital of the world. Is it really going to be a level playing field?
It is a level playing field.
Yeah.
Why is it not a level playing field?
No, I'm asking you.
1 GB of data in 2014 used to cost 287 rupees. It today costs 9 rupees. So it makes eminent sense for India to be, which is the data capital of the world.
Can the northeastern parts be the AI hub of India? So I saw a statement from you that it was a Shangri-La area for you when you felt that the development of Agartala, Assam was essential for India to make it smart.
500 or 1,000 years ago, this part of our country used to form the fulcrum of all east-west trade.
Why should I be looking at the northeast? What is in it for the northeastern states that I should be coming and investing in?
27,000 crore semiconductor fab investment of the Tatas. Not 1 rupee of that is included in this 4.3 lakh crores. Okay. So landmark investments today are coming in the north.
Hello and a warm welcome to Power Exchange. Here on the AIM Media House, today we have the great pleasure of being joined by someone who's actually building new India's new age digital infrastructure, perhaps byte by byte. The one and only Jyotiraditya Scindia, what a great pleasure for us to be welcoming you here today, sir.
Pleasure to be with you as always, Upen. You and I have gone back, I don't want to say many decades, because that will make us
don't make me feel so old.
That will make us seem very old, but very old relationship. Pleasure to be with you.
Always good to speak to you, Mr. Scindia, because I think that you're one of those individuals who has really been at the cusp of the changes that we're witnessing in our country right now. So firstly, for the benefit of our audiences, both here and internationally, throw some light on what do you think is the biggest learning that you have got in the two ministries that you hold right now, Ministry for Development of Northeastern Affairs and the Telecom Ministry?
So suffice to say, Bhupen, that I think both of these ministries in their essence hold an immense importance in the future of our country. And let me elaborate why. On the one hand, when you look at telecom, if you look across the world today, it is this communications and digital revolution that is steering the globe. In that path, if you will, it is India that is leading the charge. If you go back in history to the early 20s and the 30s, when you talked about the Vanderbilts and the JP Morgans, and when the Industrial Revolution took place and you were building out physical infrastructure in the world, and the Americas were leading the charge on that, whether it's railway infrastructure or roadway infrastructure. It is today digital infrastructure which is invisible in many ways, which is leading that charge. And in the building of that digital infrastructure, it is India that is, and I'm using this word quote unquote, pioneering the world. the fact today that you have the fastest 5G rollout in the world within this country, where in a matter of 22 months, close to about 4.5 lakh towers, 450,000 towers have been set up for 5G. Close to about 4 lakh crores of capex has been put in place. You've had 99% of districts connected across the length and breadth of India, 82% of the population served. I've always maintained that India has followed the world on 4G. We have marched with the world on 5G. And I believe that we will lead the world in 6G.
But I saw a statement of yours where you said that what the approach you will follow in the rollout of 6G will be different from the approach you followed the rollout of 4G and 5G. 5G, of course, was one of the fastest rollouts that we have seen. I didn't quite understand the difference. Is there different parameters that you're looking at?
No. So the difference, Bhupen, goes to the root and the essence of India's evolution as a digital powerhouse. In 4G, we were behind the curve. In 5G, as the technology was and the standards were promulgated and the equipment was rolled out, we marched with the world. In 6G, we are cresting that innovation. And what do I mean by that? So 6G standards are being set today. In the standard setting process, we have our Bharat 6G Alliance, which has pioneered an alliance today with similar alliances of various countries across the globe. So we've got an alliance with the US, with Korea, with Germany, and so on and so forth. Our target is to produce a minimum of 10% of the patent filings in 6G. So we are today in part of the seminal form of the 6G promulgation. We have a position of a co-chair on one of the committees. We are part of 3 other committees. We will, with our Bharat 6G Alliance, which encompasses equipment manufacturers to telcos to IIT and Indian Institute of Science professors to government officials to entrepreneurs across the board. We are part of the standard setting process, and ubiquitous connectivity, inclusivity, those 2 parameters of ours have been accepted by the ITU, the International Telecom Union. So India has now come into the seminal part of standard setting. Now let me explain for you and your viewers how this process rolls out. So you first have a process of setting the protocols and the standards. That will take us till roughly about 27, 28. Then you have the World Radio Communications Conclave, which will set the waves and the spectrums to be used for 6G.
Right.
And post that, you will have the rollout of 6G somewhere around 2030. So we're very far away from the rollout of 6G. A lot of people feel that 6G is already here. It's not. It's the iterative process of 6G standard setting that is today in motion. And India, for the first time in its history, is a part of that standard setting. Not only are we a part of that standard setting, but we will form the fulcrum by contributing 10% of the patents.
But let me ask you a more user-centric question. I agree that 6G is not here right now. You yourself come from Madhya Pradesh, and therefore you're familiar with the rural challenges that we often face. When it comes to the rollout of 5G itself, how satisfied are you with what has been achieved so far?
I think that when I tell you that 99% of our districts have been connected, only 3 districts are left to be connected. One in the northeast, one in Andaman, and one more. There are 3 districts left. But 99% districts are connected. 82% of our customers are on 5G, which means what? You have much lower levels of latency. You have a thicker pipe. And therefore, you can push much more volume through it. You have ubiquitous connectivity. And I don't think any country in the world has that level of 5G connectivity that today India can boast of. And how does that translate? That translates into the fact that you have today, across the world, when you talk about digital transactions. 46% of the world's digital transactions take place in India. 46%. You're talking about close to 272 million transactions per month, close to about 1.78 billion transactions per year, close to $2.85 trillion transacted through digital transactions. When you have platforms that the Prime Minister has pioneered and pushed, such as UPI, DBT, Aadhaar, the JAM Trinity, and when you have adoption happening not only within India, but happening externally across the world, where today developed countries are coming to India to adopt our UPI platform. So let me give you an example of that. When you go to the Eiffel Tower today, when you want to buy your ticket and you want to process your ride up the shaft,
UPI.
it's UPI.
But then let's look at all your assertions, sir, in the context of the present day geopolitical scenario. The world is in a state of conflict. We all know this. Look at the spate of statements which have been made by the current US president, where he doesn't want Tim Cook to, let's say, manufacture in India. Now, all this, the positivities that you're counting for our audiences, do you think that this is a challenge for India? That the world is looking at India as a serious competitor, perhaps? You look at this as a challenge or an opportunity?
If I may steal from Prime Minister Modi's words, भारत हर चुनौती को अवसर के रूप में देखता है.
आपदा में अवसर.
And I wouldn't want to
It's
say
not an
आपदा, but chunauti mein avsar. And I think it's a huge opportunity for India. Do not also forget, Bhupen, that we have moved the curve under Prime Minister Modi's leadership to hitherto unknown heights. From the 11th largest economy, you became the 5th largest economy. 2 weeks ago, you transitioned from being the 5th largest economy to getting ahead of Japan and becoming the 4th largest economy in the world. You're going to become the 3rd largest economy, hopefully by 2027. You'll be a $5 trillion economy by 2028. You'll be a $6 trillion economy by 2030. India today is moving. She is firing on all engines. Government capex expenditure has reached levels that you and I and the people of our country could only dream of. 11.2 lakh crores capex in a single budget, when you're talking about figures like 1.5 lakh crores 10 years ago. You talk about social upliftment, lifting close to about 25 million, 250 million, 25 crores people above the poverty line, transforming their lives through programs like Ayushman, where a 5 lakh health insurance cover is given not to 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, 15 crores, but 350 million people across the length and breadth of this country. This is huge transformation. And that's only happened in the last decade in this country. So you're no longer talking about Mumbai, Delhi, Chennai, and Bengaluru. You're talking about tier 2, tier 3 cities today getting access to civil aviation. You talk about roadways, you're looking at 90,000 kilometers of highways going to 150,000 kilometers of highways in a span of 10 years. What you built in 65 years, you have built in 10 years. So that is huge transformational change. And it is this transformational change that is powering India. And therefore, for the world, today it is an India, there has to be an India strategy for every corporate.
But here's the point, sir. You see, you say that India is going to be the data capital of the world. In terms of mobile telephony, the numbers are there for all to speak. But look at the companies which want to come to India. Do you think this question of where should the data lie? Should it be here? Should it be outside? Has that question been answered? Is there a clear-cut strategy that we have for India?
That is going to evolve. I really believe that data. So there are two aspects to it. I think your first statement is extremely important to understand. India that today has close to about 1.2 billion mobile subscribers. 2014, we had 250 million internet connections. We today have 974 million internet connections. In 2014, we had 66 million broadband connections. We today have 940 million broadband connections. And in many ways, economies of scale argument applies here as well. As the market has penetrated, costs have exponentially fallen. A voice call when I came back from Harvard University as a young investment banker in
Way back.
I don't want to say when. It used to be $16 a minute, right? In 2014, it was 50 paise a minute. Today, it is 0.03 paise a minute. You can't even convert that into cents. You'll have multiple decimal points. 1 GB of data in 2014 used to cost 287 rupees. It today costs 9 rupees. You're talking about 11 cents.
Just about 5% of the world price.
Exactly. The world price is $2.49, right? So it makes eminent sense for India to be what you said it should be, which is the data capital of the world. Now, along with data comes being able to house data, comes global issues.
And that's the question, no? Where should it be housed, sir?
Global issues which are extremely important for every human. And what is that? That is privacy. That is security. And I think those are questions that we, as not as Indians, but we as humans need to answer for ourselves. Because let me give you an example. As communications minister, as important it is for me to ensure permeation and penetration of reach, it is as important for me to ensure that you are secure in terms of your mobile telephony, in terms of your data, in terms of your access to your bank accounts, access to all your secure data. And therefore, that is a global issue that needs to be answered. But data, of course, mined, procured from India, or for that matter in any country, must be housed in that country. And I think those laws are very clear.
So let's look at Elon Musk. Mr. Musk wants to sell Starlink now. There are deals that have happened. And the nature of his, let me say, slightly friction-oriented relationship with Donald Trump, given the fact that he's now out of Dodge. How does India look at Elon Musk? His father is here right now.
Let me start by saying this, that I am company agnostic, I am customer centric, I am nation spirited. Okay. And I've said this on the floor of Parliament, right? So when India brought about the Telecom Act of 2023 and we brought in that capability of being cutting edge, which meant not only provision of new services, but also provision of satellite connectivity. We made it very clear that India is ready for satellite communications. In the last 2 years, we've given out, as of date, 2 licenses, one to OneWeb, which is a Bharati controlled company, the second to Jio. And Starlink is well on its way of getting its license, which will be the 3rd license. From a India point of view, India is open. We want as many companies to come. We want them to compete. We want our customers to have choice. And it is my responsibility to offer the whole bouquet of services, whether it's fixed line, mobile, broadband, OFC, satellite, to every customer of mine in India. And let the customer make that choice.
But here's the question, sir. If there is a conflict, whether it's in Haryana or in Jammu and Kashmir or wherever, we've all seen stories of internet shutdown. Now, if you bring in Starlink, the concern being raised is that is it really going to be a level playing field? Starlink is coming via Jio and Airtel, I get that. But is the same policy going to be applicable for Starlink also?
It is a level playing field.
Yeah.
Why is it not a level playing field?
No, I'm asking you.
Number one, it's a level playing field. And number two, I want to apprise you and through you, all our viewers, I believe that satellite connectivity is complementary, right? It's not necessarily a substitute, it's complementary. Why is it complementary? Because there are regions in the world, not only in India, there are regions in the world that you cannot reach through RAN and core. You cannot reach through mobile telephony. there are regions in the world where you cannot lay OFC fiber. Those regions today need connectivity. Today, your device is not a means of communication alone. It is a means of economic sustenance. Today, through this device, whether it's a handheld, whether it's your computer, your tablet, you connect economic transactions, right? And for that to be available to every citizen across this country at their choice is my responsibility. So therefore, satellite allows A, that to happen. B, God forbid, but if there is a natural calamity, it has been proven within India, it has been proven across the world, that satellite is the only recourse that humans have at times of natural calamities, whether you saw the Myanmar earthquake or you saw the tsunami or so on and so forth. So therefore, it's very important for every country to have in its bouquet of communication capability. Third, technology is ever evolving. When you and I were growing up, again, I don't want to tell people our age, but we didn't have mobiles, right? You and I were, forget about having access to fixed line, we were still on the rotary system of phones, right? In our lifetime, we've seen exponential change. The one thing that's changing faster over time is that rate of change, that delta of change of technology. And so will every technology change. And it's important that we as a country are at the forefront of accepting that technological change and providing it to all our citizens.
But let me just for a moment take you back to the geopolitical question that I was raising. Access to technology.
And let me add one more point. Sure. Today, SATCOM technology, in terms of mobile services on your handset or my handset, not a separate not a satellite phone, but on your handset and my handset, voice is not available. Today, it's important to be able to directly point your antenna at the satellite. So therefore, if you or I come into a building, then the access is not as, the quality is not as good. So that's a technology that's evolving. But at the same time, it's important to be able to, whether it's on a fixed satellite network, provide that services of lower latency, higher bandwidth, higher capability to every citizen who he or she would require that at a price point that is defined by the competition.
But I was on a slightly different question, sir. It sometimes bothers me that you look at the kind of conflicts which are all unfolding around us. Technology has a deep role in that, right? So technology can be used for benefit and it can be used, let's say, for anti-national activities.
Sure.
Now, with greater access to data, to mobile phones, look at what's happening between Ukraine and Russia, right? What are the steps, if you can throw some light, given the fact that you're also a big exponent and practitioner of AI and deep tech, when it comes to managing our personal internal security in the context of easy access to data, easy access to mobile telephony? Can you throw some light how it's also becoming far more secure for us?
So let me say this, that technology always has great propounders who use it for the benefit of mankind. And technology, through history, has always also had propounders that tend to use it nefariously. Our job is if you will, guards of common citizens' security and right, is to provide that level playing field, as you mentioned, or that playground for benefits to accrue, and cast a safety net as wide and as deep as possible to protect our citizens. And I think the Department of Telecommunications is very well apprised of that responsibility. In the last couple of months and last year itself, we have brought about many steps. We today have a centralized NOC, which has been developed on indigenous software, where we have connected security agencies, we've connected banks, we've connected financial intelligence units, We've connected every player across that value chain to be able to screen every possible cyber attack that's coming in. And when we spot one, disseminate that information immediately to all stakeholders. So, if you will, you want to call that in rudimentary terms a firewall.
Right.
That today already is in
Exists.
place. It exists and it's in place. One. Two, as far as telecom is concerned, we've set up our Sanchar Sathi portal, as you are well aware, as well as a Sanchar Sathi app, which can go on your phone. And we've, at this point of time, disconnected close to 3.4 crore mobile phones, where people have reported that their phones have, or their SIMs have been stolen. We've disconnected close to about 34 lakh WhatsApp accounts.
34 lakh WhatsApp accounts have
Yeah.
been disconnected.
Disconnected.
That's a huge number.
So that's in place. The third, which we've looked at, is to ensure that through our iCore telecom software, there are a lot of routes that such nefarious people follow to gain access to your phone, so that sometimes you'll see on your phone a call from
An unknown number.
an international
number.
And so a lot of them are using international networks to come in on spoofed calls. So we've got a software that we put in place that prevents spam, spoofed calls coming in. We put that in place almost about a year ago, and the first month we were blocking close to about 1.3 crore calls, which is 130 million calls per day. Now that so many calls were getting blocked, and you must have noticed also, I noticed.
Yeah,
as a
I keep
consumer,
getting it all the time.
That the plus 96 number or something. All of that today has receded because people have understood that they can't break through that system, and therefore the calls that are being blocked today has come down from 1.3 crores to almost about 15 or 20 lakhs only per day. So that system is also in place. So we've put in security for us, and safety is extremely important, and we've put in all of these systems for instruments, for vagaries of hacking into networks, for cyber threats. All of those systems today are in place in India.
Let's move on to the other responsibility that you have, sir. The Ministry for Development of Northeastern States. I saw a statement from you that it was a Shangri-La area for you, and you felt that the development of Agartala and Assam was essential for India to make its mark. Tell us a bit about what are the steps that you're taking. Can the northeastern parts be the AI hub of India?
So let me take a step back, Bhupendra, and go back to your first question as to why am I excited about both of these departments and why they can form the cornerstone of India's developmental paradigm. And we segued into telecom for a long period of time. But I believe that the same potential is held by the Northeast. And I'll tell you why. Prior to having been given this responsibility by the Prime Minister, apart from having a family relationship with the Northeast, because my father's elder sister was married to the Maharaja of Tripura. I must confess that I probably knew very little about the Northeast. And in the last year, I've had the privilege of not only being exposed to all 8 states in depth, but also reading up a little bit of history. And 500, 1,000 years ago, this part of our country used to form the fulcrum of all East-West trade. So the connectivity from Southeast Asia all the way to Central Asia and on to Europe was through our Northeast. And therefore, it formed a fundamental paradigm of development and growth. And you'll be shocked to know that at one point of time contributed close to about 20% of India's GDP. That was the capability of the Northeast. And the Prime Minister over the last 11 years has committed himself to building that capability back in the Northeast. Why? Let me give you a few numbers. This is an area that houses close to about 45 million in terms of population, 4.5 crores. It's an area that you'll be shocked to learn. The world is growing at roughly 2.5, 2.75% GDP growth rate. India is growing at 7.15, 7.2%. So we are growing at roughly 2.5x of the world. My 8 Northeast states, not 1, not 2, not 5, not 6, all 8, decadal growth rate over the last 10 years, 12 to 13% GDP growth rate. They are growing at 2x roughly the rate of India, 4.5x of the world. So when the Prime Minister says that they will be the growth engine of India, they are the growth engine of India today. Third, if you think about the literacy rate, it's something that shocked me. Across the board, the literacy rate in the Northeast is above 86%. 92% in Mizoram, 93% in Nagaland, 91% in Meghalaya. It is astounding.
But why have we not been able to leverage this?
So let me,
we hear a lot about Kerala, for instance,
so let
about
me come to
literacy
that.
rates.
Final point, for 4.5 crore population, 60% below the age of 25. So you have a youth bulge, you have a literacy bulge, you need an economic power bulge. And that's what the Prime Minister has worked on over the last 10, 11 years. 10% of gross budgetary support, close to about 7 lakh crores, has been committed to the Northeast, which is why you've seen the Northeast grow from 9 airports when I was Civil Aviation Minister to 17 airports in the last 10, 11 years. Which is why you've seen the Northeast grow from 10,000 kilometers of national highways in 65 years to 16,000 kilometers of national highways. You've got the longest road bridge in the country, 9.5 kilometers, the Bhupen Hazarika Bridge, built in the Northeast. You've got the longest road cum rail bridge built in the Northeast, 4.15 kilometers. Railway projects, you have connected, we will connect all 8 states. We just connected Aizawl. We're going to connect all 8 states by end of next year by railways. We have 19 projects ongoing today worth 81,000 crores. We've built 2,000 kilometers of railways. So what the Prime Minister has done is that he's laid out the foundational backbone, if you will, for underpinning of vertical growth of the Northeast. And which is why now the Northeast Investment Summit, which I held, which Prime Minister inaugurated on the 23rd of May, which was 10 months of intense hard work, 9 road shows across the country, taking 2 chief ministers to every road show, selling the Northeast, marketing the Northeast, 4.3 lakh crores worth of investment proposals in that investment summit. That is something, and I'm not counting in this 4.3 lakh crores, a rupee, mind you, a rupee from what was committed in the Advantage Assam Summit held 2 months ago.
So this is completely different.
Completely separate from that. So for example, let me give you a high ticket item. 27,000 crore semiconductor fab investment of the Tatas. Not 1 rupee of that is included in this 4.3 lakh crores. Okay. So landmark investments today are coming in the Northeast.
So please tell me, sir, if I'm sitting outside India, if I'm in the Silicon Valley or if I'm in any of the big investment hubs, why should I be looking at the Northeast? What is in it for the Northeastern states that I should be coming and investing there?
It's not about what is in it for the Northeastern states.
No, what is in it for me?
What is in it for you?
Yeah.
It's a win-win situation. Because if you look at the complexion of my 4.3 lakh crores of investments that's coming, it's coming into tourism, it's coming into agriculture, it's coming to horticulture, it's coming to IT, it's coming to infrastructure, it's coming to FMCG. It's across the board. So let me give you an example. You and I use cologne.
Yeah.
So there's an element of a natural commodity that goes into colognes called oud.
Which cologne do you use, if I may ask you?
I use a number of them.
Okay.
But I normally like citrusy ones.
Okay.
I come from a burning hot area of Gwalior Chambal. So for me, citrusy ones are much more up my lane. So there's something called oud that's used in that. Today, apart from Indonesia, the Northeast is the biggest potential producer of oud. which was you and I know in India as agarwood, which
Yes,
is
yes.
used in agarbattis.
Yes.
And mind you, the name of Agartala has come from
from-
agarwood.
Oh, I
Okay.
didn't know this.
Correct.
The name Agartala comes from this.
agarwood.
Oh, I see.
Okay. So Tripura and Assam are the two houses of
Oh,
wood.
nice. Okay.
And we, in this investment summit, we've just signed 1,000 crore investment of all European majors who want to invest in the Northeast for growing wood and processing it, branding it, marketing it internationally. This one product alone has the potential to provide between 10 to 20,000 crores of revenue for the Northeast. One product alone. I've just increased the CITES limit for exports by 3x in the last 1 year. When I was civil aviation minister, I put together a scheme called Krishi Udan because the bellies of my aircraft would go empty. So I said, why don't I carry perishables at marginal cost, subsidized rates for exporters? And I was shocked to learn as civil aviation minister that my queen pineapples from Tripura end up in Germany.
Ah.
My king chilies from Nagaland end up in Dubai. So products from the Northeast have not only capability to be sold countrywide, but to be sold globally. All that they need is for investors to come in on the ground. I am not a believer in the model of taking Bhupen Chaubey and sending him all across the world to get orders. Those who are interested in Bhupen Chaubey's product must plant feet on the ground. And therefore, those investors must come here, organize people such as Bhupen Chaubey and his ilk into SAGs, train them, bring them up the value curve. We will set up central processing centers, make them a part of the branding marketing exercise so that farmers such as Bhupen Chaubey and Jyotiraditya Scindia get a larger part of the value chain rather than be considered as just commodity players.
Okay. You know, at the end of this rather exciting journey that you have taken us on, sir, across your different responsibilities, and having had the pleasure of knowing you for so long, I sometimes wonder, now is Jyotiraditya Scindia firmly, is he now a Delhi high-flying, top-flight cabinet minister with clear-cut position and focus on what he wants to do? What happens to Madhya Pradesh? Does your heart still
My heart
miss a beat there?
My heart has, so first of all, I'm not Delhi-based, I'm not high-flying, and
My face is okay.
and I'm not a cabinet minister. I am a Madhya Pradesh-based, Maharashtra-linked, because my DNA is Maharashtra,
Right.
from the heart, a public servant. If you go back to the roots of the Scindia family, not today, not my father's generation alone, not my grandmother's generation alone, but throughout the last 15 generations have been Jansevaks. We are sons of the soil. Our origins were as Patils of a small little village in Satara district called Kanerkhed, and Patil today in modern terminology is the headman or the sarpanch of the village. That's where our humble beginnings were, and that's where our roots are always placed. My underpinning of being in public service is my emotional connect with the people of my region, which is Gwalior Chambal, and my state, which is Madhya Pradesh.
So, you know, before we came for this interview, sir, at AI Media, we ran a poll and we told our viewers that we'd be doing this conversation with you. So there were a couple of viewer questions, which I thought I must bring up to your notice. Somebody wants to know, what's that final thought that Jyotiraditya Scindia has on his mind before he goes to sleep for the day? What's that final thought that you sleep with?
Very simply, have I done enough? Is there something else that I could have covered today? Am I exhausted? The one thing that I want to leave viewers with, and it's something that my father always practiced and I always believe in, and I say this from the bottom of my heart, the softest pillow is a clear conscience. If you have a clear conscience, you'll have sound sleep. And let me tell you, for all of us who are, I'm a little philosophical in life, Bhupendra, after I lost my father. Many of us aspire to become multi-billionaires. Many of us aspire for every political post. The most important thing in life always is to be able to have sound sleep. And you're only able to have sound sleep if you have a clean heart and a clear conscience.
I think the clear conscience word needs to be underlined, because that's often an accusation which is leveled against you. But do you think that's a closed chapter of your life?
What is?
Well, the fact that, you came from the Congress, you went to the BJP, there are still consistently, there are these questions which are often raised. You think all that is now done and dusted? This is a new chapter of your life, and this is where it is.
My purpose in life is public service, right? But I will say this, that for me, what is most important is being able to contribute to try and make people's lives better.
Okay.
And if I'm able to do that, then I think that I've been able to achieve what I had to in my life.
Okay, sir. This is a tradition that we have. If you could kindly sign this. This is an AIM mug. So you could just sign, and if you have one word that you think should be your message to the viewers across for India, what would that be? So you can put your signature and a word. This is a new innovation that we've got. You should leave a copy with him as well. Believe. Okay, you may want to click it with him. We'll take a separate shot. This is the magazine, sir. This is what this entire group does.
Excellent. Thank you.
You want him to open here only? You may want to shoot this.
I've always been the worst opener of presents. Oh, wow. Well, that's an AI developed one.
To the Telecom Minister, an AI-driven one.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Chief.
Pleasure.
Thanks so much.
Pleasure.
Good to see you. Good to see you.